All right, everybody. I think we might be online at this point with the live stream. Let me get all my windows the way I want them. Hopefully you all can see and hear me. Trying to get everything the way I want it. Give me just a minute to do that. My windows are all messed up. Those of you that are entering right now, if y'all can let me know, like, whether you can see and hear me or not. And then I'll start taking your questions. And you all would not believe what I had to go through to make this live stream happen. It was sort of last minute in a way. So bear with me. I'm trying to get all my windows. I usually have like multiple screens, and I'm sort of limited this time. Okay, so is the volume okay? I'm a little far away from the mic. I don't have my normal mic set up. So hopefully you all can see me okay or hear me okay. All right, y'all are saying that you can hear me, which is good. Hopefully I feel like I'm a little far away from the mic, so hopefully y'all can hear me just fine. It's sort of precariously perched up here. I'm afraid it's going to fall over, but we'll try it. All right, so we've got a lot of people entering in here. We've got key user, the very first message here. Let me switch to live chat. All right, get my chat window set up the way I need it to be. Y'all know I'm not the best streamer in the world as far as my ability to do it. All right, so we've got DeLuna Art Studio, we've got JJ Zone, we've got Kaimani Burrell, happy belated birthday. We've got the Knicks Network, we've got Mary Robert, we've got Alexis Rogers, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we've had a live stream at all. We've got the Charmed Hunter. We've got SOP 925. So I saw a couple of questions already. I'm going to start going through. And I had to start this one a little later than I have in the past. I didn't know if we would be able to have one today, but it's been a couple weeks. I wanted to make sure we did that. Okay. So the first actual question came from JJ Zone. Says Skinner, Moss, or the chairman from Ned's. Rank them from 1 to 3. Man, I think the chairman from Ned's would have to be at the bottom as far as the worst. Second would be probably... I don't know. That's sort of a toss-up. I would probably go 2 Skinner and number 1 Moss. They're all bad, but that's what I would rank them. Okay. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? SOP 925. Do you have a favorite reaction from SpongeBob? Krusty Towers remains a favorite, although... here in a few weeks, you all will see my reaction to Cracked Crabs. That one was really funny, especially for a season 7 episode. I think I rated it a 10 out of 10. Y'all know I sometimes rate them just as far as my enjoyment. That was a 10 out of 10 episode for sure. All right, I'm limited to 1 screen on this one, and so I'm trying to get my windows just right. Okay, let me keep on going with your messages. Mandy Z, I can do so okay. Benson Noodle, thank you for being here. Says, left my grandma on the side of the road for this. He's trying to steal DeLuna Art Studios thing. Mary Robert, it's all good, wearing my new headphones. John Smith says, you're good, you're good, you're good. I'm assuming you're referring to the audio. The Nick Sick Network, I got my snacks. Mandy Z, And I see a donation already. I see 2 donations. I'm going to skip down to them. Key donates $4.99. I always appreciate that. Key, you've been a big part of the channel. Have you seen the Michael Jackson biopic teaser yet? No, I don't. I've been very, very busy lately. Hence the late live stream that I just barely made it to. Just moments ago, I was literally going out. I had to find the pieces to this different mic stand that I very rarely use. So no, I haven't seen it, but Key, I appreciate the support, the channel membership, as well as the $4.99 donation. Kaimani Burrell, channel legend, one of only 2 principals, or no, 3 now, principal's office level members, with an $8 donation. Happy birthday. His birthday was last Sunday. The big 2-0. Kaimani. Says, so excited for this live stream. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Now that the deserter is almost here, do you have another in mind coming next? As far as, if you mean, Kaimani, if you mean Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's going to be whatever you had on that list of yours. I did the deserter mainly because you recommended it and also other people recommended it. And just to let you know, that is still, it was edited and I asked them to revise a few things. That reaction will be December 13th. I'm quite a bit ahead right now, which is good because I haven't been able to film much lately because I've been so busy. So thanks, Kaimani, for that donation and that question. Let me scroll back up to the top and quickly go through the other messages. Let's see. Mandy Z, is there any SpongeBob episodes on December 12th coming up? Yes, there is. December 12th will be Planet of the Jellyfish, is that one, tentatively. Jonath Haynes 90 says, good evening. Tyler Caswell, how was your day today? Very busy. I just barely made it here. I barely made it here in time for my own live stream. How about that? Peyton Elvis, hello school principal, my name is Peyton. It's me, Peyton. I was wondering if we could just be here, if I could be interviewed on your channel. Yeah, I can't promise that, but I appreciate your support. Brian Nussbaum, Principal Moss or the school district guy? Principal Moss. That board chairman was extremely corrupt. Jonath Honest, I'm not sure how to say your name. He says he's about to see the new Predator movie. Okay, let us know how it is. Old Pop Jam user. It's been a while since I've seen you on here. Hey, School Principal Reacts. I'm back for another live stream to watch, and guess what? I got a SpongeBob DVD in the mail from 2003 called Lost at Sea. That sounds pretty good. I always remember Pop Jam user because they won one of the live stream giveaway mugs, which when we hit 20,000 subscribers, we're going to do another one. I mean, I love giving away stuff, so we'll do some giveaways at 20,000 subscribers. I think we're inching up to 18,000 right now. Let's see. Gabby is awesome 13 says, guess what, Brandon? I saw this live coming. I knew you were going to make a live today. Okay, very good. Is that Gabriela Soler, or is it a different Gabby, I wonder? Tyler Caswell, my life is hard right now because my dad is closer to died. I'm sorry to hear that, my man. The old Pop Jam user says, I got a SpongeBob DVD in the mail from 2003. X the Pig. Brandon, do you watch football? And if you do you have a favorite team? Not really. You all know I'm from Georgia, so just about everywhere you go, you see UGA stuff. Everywhere, Bulldogs, letter G's, unless you're a Georgia Tech fan, but most people tend to be Georgia fans. I don't really follow it. I'm kind of neutral when it comes to football teams. Pop Jam user back watching another live stream. Jonathonist Skinner is the best one of the best memes out there. Samantha Robinson, hey Brandon, currently in bed with a torn back muscle. When is your next Rugrats video? Sorry to hear that. I haven't planned one yet. I have a bunch of them that are on my list, though. I've not scheduled it yet. Most likely in January. I'm really far ahead right now as far as planning. JJ Zone, have you ever had anybody deface the school bathroom? Many times. many times, unfortunately, because students know that's the one place with no bathrooms. You really have to catch them in the act, or get a lot of really good witnesses. That's really a tough one. Brian Nussbaum says, rank these three: Mr. Monroe, Dr. Xavier, Principal Wright. I would say number 1, Principal Wright, number 2, Mr. Monroe, and number 3, Dr. Xavier. They're all pretty good. Peyton Elvis, can you rap in the SpongeBob episode SpongeBob Card on Duty? I've never seen it, so not sure. Jonathonist, by the way, I've seen the new SpongeBob movie that is releasing this December. I do think it's all right. Gabby is awesome, says, I'm sorry, Tyler. Hank the Tank is here. I appreciate your support as well as being a mod, as well as being active on Discord. JJ Zone, would you rather spend a day with Missy or Evelyn? They're both pretty out there as far as their personality. Missy or Evelyn? They're both sort of crazy. Maybe Evelyn. She's at least, I think, maybe less crazy than Missy is. Brian Nussbaum, will there be a reaction to the second SpongeBob movie? I think so. I think I'm going to have to. Benson Noodle, whoa, two donations. Yeah, like at the same time. DeLuna Art Studio Joke Stealer, yeah. Sorry about that. Benson Noodle says sorry. MGJATFUL says hi. Okay, a bunch of chat messages just loaded. Hank the Tank, looks like you're in an apartment in NYC. I am not. Key user, double donation. Brian Nussbaum says, what would you say is the worst thing Cookie has done? That's a tough one. He's just lied. So, you know what I think was the time he started that rumor that he was leaving, and then everybody brought him presents for saying that he was leaving, but he really wasn't. That's probably one of the worst. MJG, love Ned Declassified. It's funny how Cookie run. Alex Gillis, greetings from Dodgers country. I'm assuming you mean Los Angeles. The old Pop Jam user, hi, I still have my SpongeBob Pez. Yeah, it was the Pez dispenser. It wasn't the mug. It was the Pez dispenser. Toontail official shorts. How do you feel about IQ tests, and why do schools have them? I don't think schools do have them. I don't think schools do have IQ tests. Now they have SATs and other types of standardized tests, but not IQ tests. Samantha Robinson, can you react to Danny Phantom, The Ultimate Enemy? That is on my list. I do have Splitting Images scheduled for November 15th. That's coming up. The Ultimate Enemy is high up on my list. I have a feeling you'll see that in January or February. Kaimani Burrell, I'm marking my calendar, December 13th. H. Crayert, do you think Patrick would still hang out with Sandy if SpongeBob weren't around? I don't know. That's a good question. J.E.J. and a bunch of nonsense. Hi, Brandon. Hank the Tank, you maniacs, you blew it up. Brian Hicks says hello. Brian Nussbaum says, is there a date for your final Ned's reaction? I think it's probably going to be December 23rd. And if I'm able to break it, the remaining that I have, if it becomes 2 parts, it will be December 30th. So either December 23rd or December 30th. And then we'll pick up with probably Recess. But I have to do some more polling. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. I'm going to kind of adjust my seat so I can be a little more comfortable. I feel like I'm really far away from the mic, but maybe that's just me. I'm used to being really, really close to it, but let me know if y'all can't hear me like this. Okay, let me keep reading. Mandy Z, Season 8 will be... Season 8, but be aware it will probably be a bit disgusting. Planet of the Jellyfish. Yeah, a little bit. I did see it. I've already reacted to it. It's just waiting to be released. JJ Zone, Mr. Bates from Freaky Friday, the English teacher, or Mr. Quest? Mr. Quest. I would say Mr. Quest. Hank the Tank, what's the kid asking for an interview? What's the kid asking for an interview smoking? That's all right. I don't mind him asking that. Mr. Knuckles, I'm eating Cheetos right now. Be careful. Cheetos will get all over your computer or remote or whatever whatever you're using to watch this. Jax Jr. says hello. Nice to see you. Jonathanist. Okay. Let's see. Let's just say I met Tom Kenny multiple times and he's absolutely wonderful. I like that SpongeBob himself knows me. That's pretty cool. Mr. Knuckles says, I love your videos. I appreciate your feedback. JJ Zone, you should do your teacher tier list at 20K. I will think about it. Those take a little bit more time to make, but I will think about it. Jonathanist, you can call me Jonathan. Thank you. The old Pop Jam user says, I also love your SpongeBob videos. I always watch your SpongeBob videos every Friday. Gabby is awesome. By the way, this is me, Gabriela Soler. Yeah, I thought so. I wasn't 100% sure. Didn't want to assume that. Nice to see you here. Hungry for lunch. Make a gaming channel. Principal plays. I've thought about it, but right now it's just going to be the one channel. T-Bone. Happy Throwback Thursday. Random account. Hey, Brandon, how's it going? Glad I could catch another live stream. Nice to see you here. T-Bone says, did you have a good Halloween? I did. Thank you very much. Spent most of it working, but yes. Key user, what's your least favorite Mrs. Puff boating school episode? It's been so long because I did those right at the beginning of my SpongeBob experience. So probably Demolition Doofus, just because of how dark she was. I mean, she basically said she wanted to get rid of SpongeBob. Wasn't a fan, but it was all right. Makarov says hello. Hank the Tank says Brandon's fan base is wearing some injuries tonight. William Armstrong says, hey, Brandon, how are you? I have a question for you. What's the least favorite video you've ever reacted to? Least favorite video reaction. Actually, it was that teacher from Wired Magazine that did the questions from the internet. Just because of her attitude, I didn't quite like it. I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite. Some of the things that she said was very true, and I can tell that she's a real-life teacher. But I didn't quite appreciate her attitude about certain things. Let's see. Lathan Lopez, do the Ellen show that aired in the 90s. It's about her as a counselor, okay? Gabby says, I have a question. Is teaching a skill or a talent or both? I think it's both. The reason I say that is because I've met a lot of people, teachers who had a natural ability to teach. They connected with kids. They knew how to explain things in a way that they understood easily, but they needed help in developing the skill, how to teach, how to put together lesson plans, how to manage different lesson segments and make it fit within the class period and the day-to-day dealings with school. I've also had people that were skilled in that area, sort of the nuts and bolts of teaching, but needed help on developing their talent and getting better at it. So I think it's both. Mr. Knuckles says, have you seen the Cartoon Network show Chowder? I have not. Jonathan says, I'll be heading out now, seeing Predator Badlands. Hope it's good, based on what I heard from critics. Enjoy. Let us know how it is. Another donation from Kaimani Burrell, Channel Legend. $2 donation. We can hear you nicely. Thank you again, Mr. Brandon, and thank you. I don't think I've had a bigger supporter in the life of this channel than Kaimani Burrell. There are several people that have been huge supporters, both financially and just in terms of support and helping out and being a mod and helping me on Discord with ideas, but I really appreciate it. Okay, let me scroll back up and find my place. Let's see. Give me a minute here. Okay, Makarov says, what's your favorite music genre? I've told you that I've told the stream a few times before. I tend to like classical. I tend to like jazz. I tend to like EDM music. It depends on what sort of mood I'm in. Yours is heavy metal and grunge, okay? Brian Hicks, I remember my school bus was once defaced. Yeah, unfortunately, that does happen. I don't condone it at all. Gabby says, hey, I missed you last stream. Hank the Tank. Yeah, that's right. Hank the Tank is usually here. Toontail Official Short says, can you react to Full House? That is on my list. I definitely have had a lot of requests for that. Dogma says, will you read? I think you meant react to Full House episodes. I will. Yeah, Dogma. Got it. Random Account says he said he's going to react to Full House. Indeed, I did. Gabby says, amen to Ginger Lemonade 85. Hank the Tank says, yep, I made it for this one. Lathon Lopez, do Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I remember that when it aired, about a sub-teacher forced to live with his sister and his niece. Okay. Gabby says, glad you're here. Smatchays. I'm not sure how to say your name. Good evening, Sir Cameron. Lathon Lopez, you think you will get the most potential suspensions counter by the end of Ned's classified counting before it started? Do you mean like potential suspensions, but like before I started doing that? I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and do that. I heard Georgia is making a cursive a requirement and making it happen at a lower grade. I'm not sure if that's true. I hear different opinions about that, whether or not we should be teaching it. I'll tell you this. I learned it, and I rarely use it. I know how to read it. You know, I can understand that, but as far as writing it, not really. H. Crayert in Spanish. ¿Cuáles dirías que son las peores acciones que han cometido Calamardo y Don Cangrejo? Actualmente yo no estoy seguro que yo sé o les conozco Calamardo y Don Cangrejo. No les conozco actualmente. Tendrías que decirme, o yo no sé decir como remind. You'd have to remind me who those are. Tendrías que decirme quién son. Jose Castro says, hello, Twisted's Laters. Found you recently. Love your reactions. Thank you for being here on the stream. I appreciate your feedback very much. Alex Gillis says, could you imagine having a janitor like Gordy? He wouldn't be there for long. He'd be fired quickly. Benson Noodle, Final Neds could come on Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us. I love it. Smatch, not sure. I'm just going to say Smatch. Hey, Mr. Principal, sir, could you do the Fairly Odd Parents episode featuring Tootie with Boy, Homewrecker and Birthday Wish? You'd have to tell me in the comments of the video exactly what episode title you're referring to. Lathon Lopez, why do all male principals wear suits or ties? Yeah, it's just you want to look professional. I've seen some principals that tend to wear a little less formal clothes, like polo shirts. A lot of school principals will wear like the school polo shirt on like a game day or Friday. But yeah, shirt and tie, or even coat and tie, like a suit, is fairly common. Jonathan says, do you see yourself reacting to As Told by Ginger? If it gets enough recommendations, it is on the list. So someday it may happen. I can't make promises, though. Samantha Robinson says, tomorrow is my favorite SpongeBob reaction. Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Yeah, that one was pretty good. Tank Dempsey says, hi, bud. Hope you're having a good stream. My son is battling a sickness. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he feels better soon. Smock says, smoking is bad for us. Hank the Tank looking forward to reacting to Recess as a regular series. Yeah, it looks like that may happen. I know some people would like me to do something different on Tuesdays for those shows like Victorious and others. I may do that just one episode at a time, maybe on Saturdays every once in a while. Mandy Z says, Season 1, 2, and 3 is SpongeBob good era, but as we get later in seasons... yes, I agree. JJ Zone, John Cena or The Rock? I think John Cena. Lathon Lopez says, have you seen Community? I've not seen it. A lot of people ask me about it. I've not seen it yet. JJ Zone, Johnny Rockets or Shake Shack? I haven't had a ton of either one of them just because they're not really available too much in my area. I think I've been to Johnny Rockets before. Shake Shack, I've not. I know they're everywhere. They're just not in my particular area. Brian Hicks, I would like to request Goosebumps episodes. Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, This Perfect School, Parts 1 and 2, and Click. I'll have to check into that. ZOMG Ruler, I bet you'll react to Rocket Power episodes one day. I will if enough people request it. And by the way, thanks for being on the stream. Lathan Lopez says, I only watch for Ned's Declassified. And that's okay. You know, people will tell me they only watch for SpongeBob or Ned's. But sadly, Ned's will come to an end soon. Hopefully you can check out some of my other series. Hank the Tank, if I had Cheetos in the house, it would have a brand new orange layer of paint. Yeah, I guess that's convenient. Sort of gross, though, because you'll have it everywhere, all over the place, and you won't be able to see it. Lathan Lopez, for Halloween, you should have done Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, I looked at that, but everybody wanted me to do Shanghai from SpongeBob. Have you ever been to the Coke Factory? If you mean the world of Coca-Cola, there's a very popular place in downtown Atlanta called the World of Coca-Cola, which is like a museum / history of Coke, and you get to actually drink a bunch of different varieties of Coke. At the end, I have been there as a student. I do remember going there as a student. ZOMG Ruler says, worst Principal Warts episode. The Flood. The Flood, for sure. Daniel Delatorre says, how long do teachers need to teach before they can be promoted to assistant principal, vice principal, or principal? Technically speaking, you can be a principal without teaching. Now, have I ever seen it happen? I've never seen it happen. But it depends on your experience. It depends on the quality of that experience and your capability as far as your knowledge and experience with being an administrator, or at least a teacher leader, and then how needy the place you're interviewing for is. In other words, how many candidates do they have, and are you the top candidate? So there's no number of years. It just depends on all of those different circumstances as far as your likelihood to be hired. JJ Zone says Curly or Troy McGinty. I would say Troy McGinty, although they're both very horrible people. Peter Yanis, and I see another, maybe a donation. Peter says, new here. My question is, what year did you finish high school? I finished in 2011. It was 2001 for me. All right, I see a donation here. I see two donations, I think. The Book of Dark from Australia, I believe, right? Donated $5 Australian. I appreciate that. The Book of Dark says, please react to the Weekenders and mind your language. And the Book of Dark, I'm going to get my phone out and take a picture of your suggestion right now so I won't forget about it. Thank you for the $5 donation. You've been on quite a few streams, and I always read your comments as well. I appreciate it very much. JFL 1988 has joined the Hall Pass level of membership. I do very much appreciate it. And I see something else here as well. My computer has to load it. I think I see something. I missed a donation. I think Jonathan donated $2 and says, was Mr. Rogers an influence on your career? No, not really. I did watch it growing up as a young kid, but it didn't influence me to go teach or anything like that. Thank you, Jonathan, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate it. Let me scroll down and see the other donations. We had the Book of Dark with the $5. I really appreciate it. I've read their comment. JFL 1988 with the Hall Pass membership. And then JFL 1988 with the $5 donation. I appreciate both of those supports, JFL. JFL 1988 says, should a school advisor tell a student they have nothing to teach you anymore? I'm not sure what you mean by school advisor. That can mean one of a few different things, JFL. As far as saying they have nothing to teach you anymore, I don't know that I've heard too much of that. There's always something more. I don't know. As far as should they say that, if that's truly true, then maybe, and then maybe bring someone else in. I'm not sure what you mean by advisor, though. But good question. That's something I don't really see a whole lot. Thank you for the donation, though. Let me scroll back up a ways and find my place. Okay, let's see. Let me find my place. Okay, found it. Lathan Lopez says you should do Seventh Heaven. Okay. Kaimani said, I think the Splinter will take the spot as the least favorite early prediction, but would be a good reaction. I see another donation of some sort. All right. We've got Chillasprin became an honor roll member for 3 months. I really appreciate it, Chillasprin, and their comment is WJFL 1988. I think you'll enjoy the honor roll level of membership. I'm not sure if you're a first-time honor roll level member or you're extending it. But either way, I appreciate it. Honor roll level members get early access to all videos. There's also a growing collection of members-only videos that only you can watch. And then you also get the Discord. So thank you very much, Chillasprin. Okay, let me scroll back up. I'm going to try to read all these messages if I possibly can. Okay, found my place. Mason McGee says, GTA 6 got delayed. Zach Flakerton says, are you familiar with Montessori-style schooling? I am familiar with it. I'm not an expert in it, but when I worked in a much larger school district in the past, we did have a couple of Montessori schools, and I would go there and visit. I was kind of schooled in a way on the Montessori style, and I've seen it in action. It's very different fundamental philosophy. Toontail Official Short says, can you react to that, So Raven? Yeah, possibly. Zom Ruler says, what fictional principal or teacher was your biggest influence? Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. I didn't watch a whole lot of the Magic School Bus. Fictional teacher, I don't know if there was one, like from my own personal childhood. One does not come to mind. Key user says, why do some students think that the teacher's lounge is a room where teachers party? I don't know. I guess it's because it's a place you're not allowed to go typically, so you're imagining them having a party. Honestly, the reality is much more boring. It's just them sitting around in there either eating their little lunch or grading papers or just chatting with other teachers. Lathan Lopez, have you ever thought about doing an international show like Mr. Young, Waterloo Road, or Bluey, or maybe Ladybug? Yes, definitely. I think that Miraculous will make a reappearance on the channel. It technically didn't appear, but I made a video that had some copyright issues, and I ended up losing the footage when I changed computers. Gabby says, Kaimani is awesome. I totally agree with that. Benson Noodle says, I don't know about Georgia, but in my state, it's 3 years of being a teacher. Yeah, different states have different rules. There's no rule, but I don't think a teacher or a school is going to hire someone with no experience. Lathan Lopez, have you ever thought about doing High School Musical? I definitely have. Alex says, I had a teacher who looked depressed, and it showed on her performance. Yeah, your attitude is going to filter into your performance. H. Crayert says, ¿Te resulta desconcertante que Patricio posea un vocabulario tan avanzado a pesar de ser como es? Y estoy leyendo tu pregunta y yo no estoy seguro que te entiendo bien 100%, pero Patricio no tiene un vocabulario avanzado, pero de vez en cuando me sorprende. Había unas veces que me sorprendió, pero la mayoría del tiempo no lo tiene. He was asking, I didn't understand 100% of the question, but something about Patrick's from SpongeBob's vocabulary. He doesn't do quite well in that area, but every once in a while he surprises me. Peter Yanis, sorry. How long have you been working for a school as a teacher and a principal? I worked as a teacher for about 8.5 years. I've been an administrator for roughly 12 or 13 years. If you mean specifically as a principal, that would be 4 years. Zach Flakerton, have you ever played anything by Coltrane? Yes, for sure. I'm sure several things. I'd have to really go back and think about it. Hank the Tank Man, or Hank Tank Man, reactions to Mr. Rogers would be heavenly. Lathon Lopez says yes. Gabby says, oh my goodness, yes. And if there's a specific episode you all know of that I should watch, let me know. Barely Bib says, watch How to Basics. Zach Flackerton says, I like you just the way you are. That's a potential firing. Peyton Elvis says, in school, because I was blind, I got out of typing class and I did Brian, which is basically a hybrid of, but with the 6-dot system drill. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you. Lathon Lopez, I didn't think learning cursive is good since teach Spanish, and some people never use it anyway. Yeah, a lot of people never use it. Hank the Tank Man, there's no one in the world like you. Toontail Official Short says, can you react to Smallville? Yes, it is definitely on the list. Gabby says, Don Congrejo is Mr. Crab. Okay, yeah, thank you. Didn't immediately recognize it. Squidward is Calamardo in the Spanish dub. Yeah, I don't know all the Spanish translations, or didn't remember them when I read the question. Calamardo is Squidward, and Don Congrejo is Mr. Krabs. I like that. I kind of forgot what you asked about originally, though. Me olvidé lo que originalmente me preguntaste. The Book of Dark. I think I see something down here. Let me scroll down. The Book of Dark with another $5 donation. Really appreciate it. Let me skip down to his comment. The Book of Dark says, in an episode of Clarence thought his teachers were robots who would shut down after school ends. Yeah, and teachers, students don't truly think that, but sometimes they almost behave like that, like teachers aren't real people and they just live at the school. Teachers are real people, believe me. All right. Appreciate it, Book of Dark. Thank you again for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Let me find my place. Thank you, Gabby and H. Crayert, for the help. I didn't realize about the translations of the SpongeBob character names. JFL 1988 with another $5 donation, so I'm going to skip down to their comment. Thoughts on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? In a general sense, I don't have a whole lot of thought because I've only seen a couple of the movies, and I've only seen it like once a very long time ago. But a bunch of people have said I should go back and react to some of those movies that have school scenes. So I don't have a lot of thoughts other than they may eventually make a reappearance on the channel, because I did do one of the Spider-Man movies. I think it was the original one, quite a long time ago, early on in the channel's history. Thank you, JFL 1988. Really appreciate the donation and the comment. Okay, let me find my place again. Gabby and H. Crayert were telling me the translations of the SpongeBob characters. DeLuna Art Studio, high school teacher back from my high school was arrested for having a relationship with a student. Have you ever faced teachers like that in your work history? Yes, I have. I would not be able to discuss it, but yes, I have. Very unfortunate and totally unethical and unacceptable. Alex says, tendrías que acordarme. Acordar, like parecido a recordar, supongo. Gracias por la traducción. Alex telling me how to say remind. Appreciate it. Gabby says, ditto, LOL. Lathon Lopez says, do you think you will get the most potential suspension counters by the end? Who will get the most? Probably Cookie, I would guess. JJ Zone, would you rather spend a day with Seth and Patrick or SpongeBob and Ned? I don't know. I kind of like Seth. I don't know why. I just like his character. Probably Seth and Patrick. Lathon Lopez, what's the worst thing you think Krubbs has done? Some of what he did in the recent episode, the school newspapers, wasn't particularly good. But actually, the worst would probably be on the principal's episode where he locks all the interviewees in the little courtyard. That was probably the worst. Hank the Tank Man, wrestle your father. Yeah, wrestle your father. He says, no, he says, like, come here and fight your father. You know, I can't do the Frank Costanza voice. But yes, Festivus, Seinfeld quote. That's great. World Fun and Amazing says, what's the scariest story you had in your career? The scariest stories are the ones I can't even discuss here on the channel. But yes, I have had and I have seen some crazy things. Kaimani Burrell, I think I see another donation. I see two donations, one from JFL 1988 and one from Kaimani. I'm going to skip straight to them. JFL 1988 with the $5 donation says, who's your favorite Superman actor? If you've seen me play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you know that I'm not good with actors and actress names. So Tobey Maguire is probably the only one I can think of. And what's his name? I always get his name wrong. The Green Goblin. Man. Oh, man. I can't. I'll think of his name in a minute. I remember him because during the pandemic or right after the pandemic, I took a trip to Arizona and I went to this place and I could swear that he was there also, or him or someone that looked very much like him, and he was from LA, and I had this little conversation with him. I forgot the actor's name though. So sorry, I don't really have a favorite, but JFL 1988, thank you so much for the other $5 donation. Kaimani Burrell, $15 donation. Kaimani's a channel legend. Kaimani says, of all the characters you've reacted to and seen between Patrick, Fire Headmaster, Dean Hardscrabble, and Janitor Gordy, who would be your right-hand man or second in command? Patrick, I would be afraid he'd get somebody hurt. Fire Headmaster would be okay. Dean Hardscrabble would be okay. Janitor Gordy, I would be questioning his ethics. So probably Fire Headmaster, the Fire Nation Headmaster. None of them are great choices, but that would be my choice. Thank you so much, Kaimani, for the $15 donation and for the question. Very interesting question. Okay, I'm going to try and find my spot again. I'm getting really behind at this point. Hold on. Okay, found it. Chill Aspirin, new channel member. I posted a couple video ideas on Discord. I don't care if they end up in the back end. I was wondering if they qualify for your type of channel. Dan and versus Smart Guy. I just have to look at them. I don't watch things before I react to them, but sometimes I do just a little bit of research to see what the shows are about. Lathon Lopez says, as told by Ginger sounds interesting. World Fun and Amazing says, please react to Odd Parents for your next video. Big Guy says you need to react to some Making Fiends episodes. Benson, Festivus is your heritage, yeah. Hank the Tank, yes, once in a while for Victorious and other shows. Yep, I plan on it. Dead Channel says, what's your zodiac sign? I actually have no idea because I don't pay attention to it. I think I did know at one point, probably from visiting a Chinese restaurant because they tend to have that stuff out, but I do not know. Isaac Bluestone, late SpongeBob goes up and down. John Smith says, community would be good for the channel. Hank says, I've had a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. Great quote. Peter Giannis says, can you do Zoe and 101? I'll do some of it, but not the whole series. I see another donation. Okay, three donations. Four donations. All right, one at a time. I'm skipping all the way down to JFL 1988 with another $5 donation. I really appreciate it. He says, I meant Superman, not Spider-Man. Oh, sorry. Well, I know just as little about Superman actors and actresses, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to comment. I'm really bad with actors and actresses' names. Key, $1.99 donation. How do you help a student with selective mutism? And you mentioned this several times on the channel before. I really appreciate you sharing your struggle with that. I would have to do a little bit of research. I have had a lot of experience with students with various disabilities or speech issues or things like that. I would have to do some research on something as specific as that. But thank you for the donation and for sharing your struggle with that. The Book of Darkness, another $5 donation. The Book of Dark says, what are your thoughts of children who have been prosecuted as adults? Seems really sad to me. Prosecuted as adults. I'm not sure. Do you mean prosecuted or persecuted? And I'm not sure what you mean, what they were prosecuted for. You'd have to give me a little bit more details for me to be able to comment on it. Kaimani Burrell, $10 donation, says, good answer. And honestly, I would have picked the same, and going by the list, winter solstice is hopefully next. Yep, that is one of the ones that you've recommended. I think that might be a two-parter, but I will definitely go through your list. As supportive as you have been, I will go to your list and keep on churning those out for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thank you, Kaimani, for the donation and the comment. All right, let me try to find my place again. Sorry about that. I always skip straight to the donations. All right, I think this is about right. Mandy says, well, didn't Welcome to the Chum Bucket remind you of Fear of a Krabby Patty because Plankton Malamute SpongeBob? Did you mean manipulate? It did a little bit. Lathan Lopez says, I know I can't wait to see what will replace Ned's. Probably Recess. JJ Zone, McDonald's or Burger King? That's tough. As far as just the quality, I would probably say Burger King. McDonald's is a bit more accessible because they're everywhere and tend to be more consistent. I like Burger King, though. Gabby says, Brandon, did you know that Mr. Lawrence, a.k.a. Plankton, auditioned to be SpongeBob? I'm ready. Hey, Gary, it's a beautiful day. By the way, if you've seen Shawshank Redemption, Mr. Krabs is there. Yeah, that's right. He was like the head prison guard. I also know him from Starship Troopers, the drill sergeant from that one. Yeah, that actor has played, not himself, but he's been in some live action roles. Yep, very true. Samantha Robinson says, you should do Rugrats Christmas special reactions. John Smith says it literally aired on network television. Kaimani says, if not a gaming channel, can possibly create the Minecraft server. Oh yeah. I may do that possibly. I've been very busy lately. I'm hoping during the Christmas holidays I can work through some of these more creative ideas that you guys have put on here and on various video comments and on Discord. Lathan says, maybe you can do Are You Afraid of the Dark for Halloween? Key says, what's your favorite season of SpongeBob? Probably maybe season 2. CD Gaming says hi. Hank says, yeah, the VA for Mr. Krabs, prison guard in Shawshank. Yep. Peyton says, company, me and you haven't common school principal. I also live in Georgia. Okay. Alt says, what do you think of shows that explore the darker side of high school? I have not seen either one of the shows that you mentioned, but as long as it's not too dark for this channel, then I would take a look at it. Shajita says, just so you know, I would only be a channel member just so I can see a reaction to the SpongeBob movie. Yeah, and some people did do that. That's fine. And some of those people saw it and then canceled their membership, and other people stuck with it. Either way is fine with me. Hank the Tank, have you ever had a student from your school say hello in the comments? I think so. I think that has happened, although not very often. Lathon Lopez, have you ever seen a principal who you thought was too young? It's not really about their age. It's about how effective they are. I've seen, I know a school principal who was very young, who was one of my mentors, who will probably never see this, who was very young when they started. Very, very good. I've also known older principals who weren't so good, and then vice versa as well. So it's all about your experience, your personality, your leadership style, rather than age. The only way age really comes into play is it allows you more time to get experience. Okay. Jose Castro says, I watch for SpongeBob live streams. Cayman Rider Black says, I like all your reaction videos. My favorite so far has to be No Bobby Left Behind. Yeah, a lot of people are a fan of King of the Hill. And I see another donation/membership. Kaimani Burrell just gifted 5 gift memberships. And those went to Emery, all the way from Germany. Killer HK and Kendall's YouTube and Neko Zombie and Mia B Plays all received Hall Pass level memberships. Thank you to Kaimani Burrell for those free gift memberships. The Book of Dark with another $5 donation says, are you on your lunch break? Well, no, because where I am, I know where you are. It's probably very early morning or very late at night, probably morning sometime. It's 8:51 p.m. here. So no, I'm not on my lunch break. I don't do anything YouTube while at work. Certainly not a live stream. That would be really bad. But no, it is evening here, and I'm probably going to have to go to bed soon. Okay. Let me find my place in the chat. I may have to just skip a whole bunch of them. I hate to do that, but I'm just going to have to pick up in sort of a random place. JFL says college advisor for the little question earlier. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, though. Hank the Tank Man says, you know, it might be a solid show to watch, The Ghost and Molly McGee. Okay. Lathon Lopez says, would you rather teach Seth, Missy, Evelyn, Loomer, or Ned? How would you feel if they were your students for one period or only students? Given the choice between them, I would probably say Ned. Jedge says, yes, I would rather see a reaction to the Splinter or House Fancy. Shajita says, Brandon looking at something mildly disgusting and going, me laughing and going, I've seen worse. Yeah, which is why I'm wondering, I don't know how I'm going to do with the Splinter when I eventually watch it. I just don't know. Jedge says he already reacted to the first Spider-Man. Hank the Tank says the doll was destroyed, but out of that, a new holiday was born. Kaimani says another donation, and Spider-Man is nice indeed. Jedge says, ignore the question mark. I meant it as a statement. Ninja says, hi, Mr. Principal. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. Justin B. Tance says, you should do Boy Meets World. Follows a student all the way. Yeah, Boy Meets World. I've done one episode already. Peter Yanis, and I see another donation down there. How long have you been working for schools? I already answered that question, I think. Kaimani Burrell, again, $5 donation and a comment. Kaimani says, yeah, Winter Solstice is a 2-parter, and the second part is the most important with lore and plot, which is why I suggested part 2, but both is. Appreciate the donation and the heads up about that 2-part episode. Sorry. Starting to get a little tired here. Started late as well. I have to get up very early tomorrow morning. Okay, let me do some more comments. I'm going to have to skip some. I'm sorry if I skipped your comment. No way around it. Nostalgia says, what movie that you haven't put on this channel has the most egregious school depiction? I don't know. A lot of them are not very realistic, most egregious. I'm sure I'll think of one later, but at the moment, nothing comes to mind. Toontail official shorts. Would you hire an AI robot as a teacher? No. And there's a huge discussion going on right now about AI and to what degree we should use it and what degree we shouldn't use it and how is its best use. It's a good tool. I heard about a school, it may have even been in Georgia, where they, for I think 2 hours out of the school day as an experiment, put AI teachers in the class. Didn't go particularly well. I don't think it's a great idea, but it's a great tool if you know how to use it correctly. Here in Georgia, the Professional Standards Commission, which is, well, I won't go deeply into that. It'd take too long, but they have put out ethical guidelines for uses of AI. It's really quite interesting that we're finally catching up with the technology and trying to regulate it a little bit more. I could spend an hour talking about that, but I won't. I see another donation or something down here. I think it's not loading right now. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't see that. Okay, let me scroll back up then. I'm going to have to skip some stuff. Sorry if I skip your message. I know how that feels. JJ Zone, what do you think of Grammarly? I've not used it. I know a lot of people who use it. That, I think, is a more appropriate use of AI because it's not like writing for you per se. It's more revising. Grammarly is an AI-based program. Let's see. I'm going to have to skip some messages. John Bernal says, hi, Principal Brandon. Finally get to catch a live stream. I'm glad you're here. A lot of people say that this is their first live stream, or they'll tell me when it's their first. Hopefully you'll turn it into some other ones, too. It's quite fun. JJ Zone, Mermaid Man or Barnacle Boy. I don't know that I have a preference. I'm going to have to start kind of skimming messages and not reading all of them, okay? Mr. Knuckles says, do you believe that college is for everyone? Absolutely not. I think it's for you if you want to do something with your life, with your career that requires college. Otherwise, I don't think you should just automatically enter college. And did I see? No, I didn't see anything. Let's see. I sort of lost my place. Oh, Willem Dafoe. Shajita and a couple other people told me it was Willem Dafoe. And I've somehow lost my chat. Oh, no. Hold on. Okay, I've got it back. Yeah, Willem Dafoe was it. I could swear it was him that I met in California. And he was just sort of doing his own thing in Arizona. It was Arizona, not California. All right. I'm going to have to skip a whole bunch of messages. I'm so sorry. B. David, do any of your students or coworkers ever recognize you from your channel? The thing about the channel is it's not big enough to where they would just see me randomly on here, or at least I don't think so. So I don't think so. Although it's, I guess, theoretically possible. Jedge, people are dropping donations like bombs, which you don't have to donate, although I do really appreciate it, and I do always skip straight to the donation if you do choose to do that. Lathon Lopez says, is it true Chick-fil-A is popular in Georgia? Yeah. Part of the reason is that's where it started, was in Georgia. But yes, extremely popular. I may end up getting some Chick-fil-A tomorrow morning for breakfast. I may just do that. Jedge, yeah, I love those flame grilled burgers from Burger King. Yep, me too. Support gaming. Can you react to Recess episode The Trial? Well, I may react to the entire series, so the answer is yes. Lathon Lopez, Class of 3000 is about music teacher and his students in the inner city Atlanta. H. Crayer says, ¿reaccionarías al video donde los actores de voz recrean escenas de Bob Esponja en la vida real? Sí, yo lo haría. He's asking if I would react to scenes where the voice actors from SpongeBob do the scenes in real life. Y actualmente yo pienso que he visto unos videos por YouTube que donde lo hacen y es bien cómico. Entonces sí, absolutamente lo reaccionaría. Es una palabra difícil para decir para mí. And I said, yeah, I would do it. I would absolutely do that. So yeah, maybe if you all line me up a few versions of that, I would do it. No profanity though. Isaac Gunmuko says maybe Emperor's New School. Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times, Isaac. So I think eventually I'm going to have to do it. You've mentioned that several times. Christian Woe says, what's your favorite NES or SNES game? Let me think for a minute. SNES, I really like the Super Mario World, like the original one from SNES. Mario Kart was good. I played some Mortal Kombat back in the day. Street Fighter 2 Turbo was definitely a big one. Chrono Trigger, if you're familiar with that game, I liked that one. All right. Gabby says, if you get the chance to watch the birthday blowout, you're in for a treat. I do plan to do that, but since it's a standalone episode, I may have to break it into parts. Okay, I'm going to have to skip a bunch because I'm just way behind. Lathan Lopez, have you thought about making the live stream a weekly thing? I want to. It sort of has been. I've done a lot of them on Thursdays. Last week, it just simply wasn't possible. But yes, I want to do them as much as possible. Listal Sterna, sorry about messing up your name. Can you please react to Gum All the Sweaters? Love your videos, by the way. I appreciate that comment. Peter Yanis says, can you do front of the class? A few people mentioned that, so I think it'll make its way to the channel eventually. Brian Nussbaum says, is there any Christmas stuff you could announce to us that will be on the channel? My schedule, since you took the time to be on this stream, I will tell you the schedule that I have right now. So you all already know about this week. You know about tomorrow's SpongeBob, Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Saturday, Andy Griffith Show. Next Tuesday will be Ned's health class episode. And the 14th will be Walking Small from SpongeBob. The 15th will be Danny Phantom Splitting Images. November 18th, Ned's Jealousy episode. November 21st, SpongeBob The Abrasive Side. November 22nd, Hey Arnold, The Flood. November 25th, Ned's Tests. November 28th, SpongeBob Tea at the Tree Dome. The 29th will be Gumball, The Coach. December 2nd will be Ned's When You Like Someone Who's Going Out with Someone Else. December 5th, SpongeBob Cracked Crabs. December 6th, The Victorious pilot episode. December 9th, Field Trips Part 1 for Ned's. December 12th, SpongeBob Planet of the Jellyfish. December 13th, Avatar The Last Airbender, The Deserter. December 16th, Ned's Field Trips Part 2. And that's about as far as I've gotten. So as you can see, I'm way ahead right now. Starting to get tired here. So I'll have to go here in just a minute. But not yet. Yes, Hank the Tank, it is 9 p.m. here. What I'm going to have to do, because I'm getting pretty tired, I'm going to have to skim the rest of the messages and just do certain ones of them. Sorry. Okay. Sajida says, good, so I don't have to feel guilty about canceling my membership. No, you don't. If you want to join and just watch my SpongeBob stuff, as far as the movie, that's fine too. If you're able to continue, of course, I appreciate it. But if not, that's fine too. Lathan Lopez, have you thought about retiring? Yes, I have, and I will retire probably in about 8 to 10 years from now. Hank Tank Man, better known as Hank the Tank, says Kaimani single-handedly keeping Avatar alive on this channel. He is. He really is. Nick Ronka says, you were disgusted by Patrick swallowing a mouthful of sand in Patrick's smart pants. You're never getting through the splinter. Yeah, you're probably right. I've thought about making it a members-only video. I may do that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Based on what you all have said, I don't know how that's going to go. It should be interesting. Kaimani says, yes, I am or will. Very true about Avatar. Darren Haverlock says, hey, Brandon, you mentioned on the channel before you used to be a band teacher. What kind of musical instruments can you play? I can play nearly all of them. Not to brag, but I can play nearly all of them. Now, some of them are more basic level that I can play. Some of them are professional level, and then everywhere in between. Getting toward the end, I had to skip some. Sorry. There are about 53 of us here tonight, but I have probably at least another 5 or 10 minutes left in me. Okay, I think I see another donation that I haven't read yet. That is from What's It To Ya. I like that. I actually like that name. What's It To Ya, with the 2 Australian, I think that's Australian dollars donation, says, please react to School Principal Reacts. React to myself. Maybe someday I'll do that. That'll be kind of interesting, especially like the early videos, which are sort of, to me, they're sort of cringy because, I don't know, I guess I wasn't as relaxed as I am doing videos now. It's a little cringy, honestly, but I may do that at some point. Okay, let me skip down. Michael Slasher says hi. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Sorry if I skip yours. I'm going to have to skip a bunch because I'm getting tired. I have a water here. I might just need some water. Here. Starting to get thirsty too. I've been talking nonstop. You don't really realize it, the effect it has, until you've done it for a while. All right, let me skim down here. Gabby says, recommendation video, Alex Bale's evolution theory and television theory. I do want to do more Alex Bale theory videos. I really enjoy doing that. I enjoy his take and his style, and it's pretty clean too. So thank you for reminding me of that, Gabby. Kaimani says, yeah, Grammarly is a lifesaver when it comes to writing. Lathan says, is 100 Things to Do Before High School the movie on your list? It is on the list. Sad Doggo says, what do you think about online versus in-person education? They both have their pros and cons. It sort of depends on the needs of the student. Let's see here. Lost my chat for just a minute, and I've got it back. Okay. Scrolling down. I'm going to have to skip some of your messages again. Scrolling down, skimming through messages. Key user says, have you ever thought about doing another members-only live stream? Yes, I have. And actually, YouTube just started it where you can go from a regular live stream into a members-only live stream. So if I can, maybe before the stream ends, I'll try that. In other words, what happens is it goes from being a regular live stream into members-only mode. And I know we have several channel members in here right now, so I may try it, if nothing else, just to test out that feature and see if it works. Scrolling down. John Bernal, Chick-fil-A for breakfast? Absolutely. Their breakfast burrito is pretty good, especially. Also like their chicken biscuits. Kaimani says, I did say something about something big was coming to donation battle after my birthday, but trust me, this was not it. It's still upcoming. Okay. Let's see. Hank the Tank says, Mr. Krubs, Brandon skipping. Yeah, sorry about that. Turner Winstead, would you hire Twilight Sparkle? I think I would, actually. She did not do too good a job, and she's pretty ethical, too. Marlon Vasquez says, you speak Spanish. That is amazing, to be honest. Yep, and I'm not sure if you do, too. Sí, yo hablo español. Solo puedo usar de vez en cuando, y por eso lo disfruto a usar, aunque en mi canal aquí. Pero lo puedo usar de vez en cuando, pero no a menudo en mi vida cotidiana. Which means, yes, I speak Spanish, but I don't get to use it often. Cordell Shackelford says, do you think there's a chance you'll react to more Fillmore? Yes, I definitely will do that. Lathan Lopez says, how did you learn Spanish? I started using it learning it in high school and just continued trying to improve to this day. Brian Nussbaum, Martin Quirley or Coconut Head? I think Martin. Victor Gabriel Kids Ramos Official. Hi, Principal. Nice to see you. All right. Joseph Ross says Chrono Trigger is a good one. It sure is. I also played the sequel to that, Chrono Cross, which is a little different. Wasn't as popular, but I still liked it. Chrono Trigger's a classic, indeed. Shajita says the art style for Chrono Trigger was made by the creator of Dragon Ball Z. Didn't know that. BT says, hi, just got here. Plan on reacting to more Doug anytime soon. At some point, I will. Micro Lagero says, I got a membership gift. You sure did. Scrolling through. Michael Slasher says, react to Kindergarten Cop. I will eventually. Scrolling through. Lathan Lopez, are you going to do another poll on what will replace Ned's Declassified? I will do more polls. Some of them will not be what to replace Ned's with, but I want to see like head-to-head different shows, like what's more popular, so I can kind of prioritize my programming, even including Saturday things. I've still got Saturday to play with. Lathan Lopez, drink more coffee if you're tired. Yeah, I have a little energy drink here. I have just a couple of sips left of it, though I've been sipping on it all day. And that's going to be it. There's none left. Okay. And part of it is, I've shared with you all before, just sitting in the chair, this chair that I'm sitting in that you probably can't see for a long period of time, gets to me also. Okay, let me scroll down some more, and I see another donation from JFL 1988, who's donated quite a few times during this very live stream. $10 donation says, you should react to Supernatural 15 seasons. JFL 1988, because it's you, I'm going to take a picture of your comment with your donation so that I can go back to it later and keep track. So thank you, JFL 1988, for the donation and the content suggestion. All right. Let me scroll up and see what I can get to. I'm up to where you all were commenting when I was reading out the schedule. Gabby says, Walking Small, let's go. I'm guessing you liked that episode. Let's see, I already read that. Hank says, Brandon's fed up. You know, I really would like to stay. I think probably if I were to get up and get myself a snack or something, I'd probably be okay. All I have is water. I don't have any snacks around here right now. And I would watch other streamers, and I didn't really realize, you don't really realize this sort of tires you out physically and mentally. You get tired reading the chat and talking so much for so long of a time. I've got a few more minutes in me, I think. Let's see. Sad Doggo says, super psyched for more Danny Phantom. Micro Legero says, you should do the whole Avatar series. People say that. It didn't do particularly well in the views department. It's not all about views, but it's some about views. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole thing, but whatever Kaimani recommends, I'm probably going to end up doing. Victor Gabriel says, love your reactions. I do appreciate it. Raymond Ellis, 6'7". 6'7", man. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. I think I'm put on, oh no, that was something else. I drove through Athens, Georgia, which is where UGA is, not that long ago. And I was driving through, it's not where I live, I was traveling, and I passed this large travel center. So it wasn't a small gas station. It was a larger, like, travel center place. And on the sign, like, they had I wish I took a picture. I tried to get out and take a picture, but it was pouring down rain, and I couldn't do it. They had, like, a sign for their business, like the brand of whatever travel center it was. And then right below it had one of those signs where you can put in your own custom lettering, like the old-fashioned black and white ones. But this was like a big travel center, and it said 6'7", like it spelled it out. It said 6'7", and didn't say anything else. And I laughed at that, and I'm like, I wonder if they got more sales off that. If, like, kids saw it and was like, oh, we have to go there because it says 6'7". So there you go, 6'7". What I think is funny is there's some of my older videos where either myself or a character in the video will say, like, oh, 6 or 7 times or 6 or 7 this, and then somebody will comment on that, and they'll put the timestamp. Even if it's a video I made a year ago, they'll say that. 6'7". 6'7". All right. Another donation from Kaimani Burrell, channel legend. $8 donation says, I have to clock out. Sadly, your phone is about to die. Have a great night, Mr. Brandon. Good night to everyone on the stream. And yes, more Avatar coming soon. Really appreciate, excuse me. I can't even talk now. This is why I have to leave. I'm getting tired. I really appreciate it, Kaimani. I will have to go in a few minutes myself. Have a great evening. Thank you again for the donations. Okay. I think I have a few more minutes left, but I'm tired. I'm scanning through. I'm just going to pick out a few comments to do, to read. Let's see. Scanning through. H. Crayert, ¿qué harías si tu mente fuera transportada a tu yo de pasado en la preparatoria? If my mind was transported, to my past in school, I guess that's what you meant. If I were transported back to when I was in school, what would I do? ¿Qué haría? What would I do? Yo no sé, pero probablemente trataría de tomar decisiones mejores. Yo no es como yo no pienso que tomaba decisiones súper malas, pero trataría de gastar o de usar mi tiempo a cosas mejores y no trataría de no jugar videojuegos lo tanto que hacía. I would try to make better decisions. It's what I said, not that I made terrible decisions, but I would try to spend my time more wisely. Hopefully that's what I said. All right. Scrolling down. JJ Zone, can you play acoustic guitar? I can, but I don't have a guitar here to demonstrate that for you. Victor Gabriel, appreciate the feedback. I'm going to have to skip down toward the bottom because I'm getting really tired at this point. Lathon Lopez, I like McDonald's breakfast McGriddle. Yes, I totally agree with you. The McGriddle is very good. I like the chicken one. I like the sausage, egg, and cheese one. for sure. Have you entered the McDonald's Monopoly? I think maybe I have. I'm not sure. Danny Garcia just dropped some dollars. Nice to see you here. I appreciate the interaction, the feedback on YouTube, and the interaction on Discord and sharing with us. $19.99 donation. Really appreciate it, Danny Garcia. She says, "Hi, Brandon. Do y'all still use projector screens for teaching and textbooks?" For the most part, no. If y'all do, for example, writing assignments on paper, on computer now, also, what is the donation for? Whatever it is, I'm glad to help. So it just goes to support the channel. Basically, it's not a charitable thing. It's just we've had a lot of donations here on this particular stream, and I appreciate all of them, large and small. The donations do go to the channel, so they go to me, and a lot of that gets reinvested back into the channel for things like editing services and making thumbnails and to help me to produce content. So I do appreciate it, Danny Garcia. To answer your question, though, projector screens. So they do use projectors, but they use it like to project their computer screen onto the board or a screen. They don't, it's not like the old style of like the projector where you write, you know, with a felt tip pen or something. Those days are basically gone. It's more projecting your computer and then writing things on like a smart board where you can actually go up to the board and like write things with your finger or with a special digital pencil. So thank you so much, Danny Garcia, for that generous donation. I really, 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 really appreciate it, and I've appreciated your interaction on the channel. All right, scrolling down. Key says, what's your favorite dessert? Cheesecake. And cheesecake with, or anything sweet with, I've said this before, like a sweet cookie with bitter coffee, or like a bitter cookie or chocolate with sweet coffee, like one's bitter, one's sweet. I really like that combination also. Okay, getting tired. The Charmed Hunter says goodbye. Total Gamer said, huge fan of your channel. I appreciate it very much. Green Yoshi, what's your middle name? I can't go there. You have my first name. That's about all you're going to get. No doxing, please. Scrolling down. Happy MBM. Good evening, sir. Just found your channel recently. I've enjoyed what I've seen. May I request more Fillmore? You most certainly can. I will do more Fillmore, if not the whole series. You will see it pop up from time to time on Saturdays. Toontail Official Short says, did the staff at your school go home right away after school? Some do, some don't. Some teachers, you almost have to kick them out. And then other teachers are gone like as soon as the bell rings. It really just depends. Lathon Lopez, I'm going to drive through Georgia tomorrow. Probably going to stop in Port Wentworth or Jekyll Island rest stop. So, or the Loves in Brunswick. So, a couple of recommendations. I know all of those quite well. Port Wentworth is just outside of Savannah. When you cross, it sounds like you're going down I-95. So, when you cross into Georgia, they built not long ago a massive, massive Georgia Welcome Center. I highly recommend it. It is massive and extremely nice. Stop by. It's right before Port Wentworth, right after you cross from South Carolina into Georgia. Brunswick, they just built, I still haven't been yet, I've been wanting to go, a new Buc-ee's. They built a brand new Buc-ee's in that area. I've heard it's massive. I've not been yet, but I do hope to go sometime in the next few months if I have to go over that way. It's not really in my area, but I highly recommend both of those places. Hope safe travels, by the way. Let's see. Hank the Tank, Brandon's back is ready for bed. Actually, my back is all right. This chair is a pretty good little chair. I'm starting to almost like get dizzy from looking at this screen and not being hydrated enough. I keep drinking this water. But I think I need a little bit more to it. I may have to go get myself a snack. And I don't have any near me. I would have to like leave the room and go get something from somewhere. Okay. Key user says, do principals have to deal with students being out sick or teachers? Both. But teachers more directly. Every morning I would have to, every principal in every school has to deal with making sure that the classes are covered by substitute teachers or others. So that's a constant reality. Hank the Tank, as long as the money is good from Kaimani, Brandon's #1 lobbyist. I mean, that is sort of true in a way. Sorry, Kaiman Musk. Sorry, I had to. Hank, that's pretty good. Money, yes. And honestly, it's not all about that. But hey, if somebody is going to support the channel at that level, I am going to listen to them. I also listen to good ideas. There's been plenty of people who haven't been able to donate like that have just had really good, interesting, unique ideas that I've also listened to. And then just genuine, heartfelt feedback. I listen to that as well. Okay. Let's see. Scrolling down. Lathon Lopez, can you play keyboard? Yes. There's a video on this channel of me playing the Minute Waltz. If you want to check that out, I can absolutely play that. Nick Ronka mentions Darman. Yeah, I may eventually get to that. It has to be not one of the super crazy ones, though. Scrolling down, I'm going to have to skip a few of you. And I'm going to have to end the stream here in a minute, too. But not yet. Not yet. How many of there are there of us on here now? What did we get up to? 36? Yeah, so y'all are hanging in with me. But it's starting to get late. Okay. Scrolling down. Yeah. So I'm down at the bottom. I'm going to have to go ahead and end the stream. I'm really sorry if I skipped your message. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all of the donations, of course. Let's see if I can go through them real quick. We had Kaimani Burrell with multiple donations. We had JFL 1988 with multiple donations. We had Danny Garcia with one big donation. Appreciate it very much. The Book of Dark with a few donations. Really appreciate it. The Key User had a couple. What's It To You had a donation. And I think that was it, maybe. Really appreciate all of your feedback. A lot of you that commented or participated a lot, like Lathon Lopez, like Hank the Tank, like Gabby, like Jonathan. Really appreciate all your comments and your feedback for sure. But I am going to go ahead and end the stream. Hope you all have a great night. Hope you all tune in tomorrow, if you're not a channel member, to my Welcome to the Chum Bucket. And then I'm really curious to see how Andy Griffith does on Saturday. Sometimes if I do something I've never done before, sometimes it takes off, sometimes it really flops. But hope you enjoy it nonetheless. I'm going to end the stream now. I'm really tired and I have to get up tomorrow. So hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for participating. And thank you for donating to the channel. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the video. Y'all have a great night. And thanks for joining the stream. Goodbye.